It's your boy ConcertViz34, and today I wanted to make a video in response to many fans of Dave Matthews Band who are petitioning and pushing for the Sirius XM DMB radio channel to be a permanent mainstay on the Sirius XM radio app, and also on the in-car and other sort of ways you can listen to that satellite radio option. Now, I commend those who have always been pushing to make change to Sirius XM because, you know, some of this push and some of the people speaking has allowed for more affordable prices for XM radio. I've seen it over the years with my vehicle. I cut the radio. They kept calling me, and I was honest with them. I'm like, look, at the time I had a 20-minute drive to work. I listened to all my stuff from Apple Music, from Spotify. You know, I had a couple of different things going at the time. I don't want to listen to XM radio and pay the amount of money I'm paying. Guess what? They've lowered the price. They've lowered the bar. They've offered 6-month packages. I think it's great when people provide feedback. However, one thing that a lot of people are missing is they are pushing Sirius XM to keep the channel permanent, and they're not looking at the number one reason that it's probably not permanent, which is the band itself and management. And some of this, I don't knock them because they want to have this valuable content. You don't want to give away the house to satellite radio. And you know what? You're going to peak out at some point. I know this fan base is still impressive, bringing the band to number one, supporting this band, unlike many bands from the 90s who have had to reduce to literally, you know, they're opening for a newer act. DMB is not doing that. They are still selling out amphitheaters, even though they're reducing their shows. But the number one thing you have to look at is management is probably not agreeing to more than these limited edition flashes. These limited edition flashes create buzz, and you know what? When you hold something back from the public, like a Shamrock Shake, it creates this demand every time it comes back. So Dave Matthews Band, the management for Dave Matthews Band have done this before. They've added some new things this time, but it's been done, and every time it's successful because it goes away. One of the things about some of these channels, the mainstay channels on Sirius XM, they're still amazing. Don't get me wrong. They keep up with these bands. You get the, Grateful Dead, and then you have Dead and Company stuff on it. You have live streams of Jimmy Buffett and of other stuff. But it's still, at some point, it does get stale. People do still keep it, but some people do drop off. They do get rid of it. So DMB and the management is actually strategically on their end, and I'm not talking about a fan's perspective, from their end, they're actually doing something to create this demand every time. So the number one thing you have to realize is management really makes the call. They release the content to SiriusXM. They agree to the deal. Sirius gives them an offer, but ultimately the band and its members, whoever's making those decisions, they have to sign off it. And you know what? Those members have to go in for interviews. So it's really management. You should be writing to management. You shouldn't be writing to SiriusXM. I'm sorry. The petition should be to management. When we go to Saratoga Spring this weekend, push for, do a DMB radio chant, okay? That's what you should be doing. And the other thing you have to realize is SiriusXM does not want to overpay for the content. Now, yes, this band has a huge following. Again, this band continues to support. A new album comes out, it goes to number one. And while sales are slipping across the board, they're still maintaining this number one. You got bands like Blink-182 that Blink-182 lost their first week sales to J. Cole back when, not California, Neighborhoods came out. So many bands from the 90s that were even at that DMB level, you could argue Blink-182 had a larger part of the culture, but it was a different culture of the 90s. They can't even outsell J. Cole. Now, J. Cole, he has his own movement, but these Blink-182s can't get to number one every time because other artists are bigger. But the thing is, the Sirius XM does not want to overpay for content, and then, they're not going to make the profits on it, okay? At the end of the day, there has to be a happy medium, and at the end of the day, Sirius is going to be the one to overpay. So if they're going to overpay, they need to see a return on their investment. They'll get, and I think that's the biggest thing. DMB Radio, they hold the content hostage. I mean, Dave Matthews Band and the management, they hold it hostage, and I don't knock Sirius and XM for overpaying. The other thing that you got to keep in mind is when these bursts come in, now some fans will listen to this radio no matter what. It's DMB radio, it makes them smile, and that's good for you guys, okay? I'm not knocking you for liking the stuff that you can buy on all the live tracks if you've been a fan. It's all there. I mean, I've been listening to it. I've had it for a couple of days now. If you own the live tracks, it's just all your content being played in a certain order. But for those of you that, most of the fan base is going to want some exclusive content. They're going to want more commentary, and they're going to want more live shows. And I think that's the hardest part to deliver to the fans, the bigger portion of fans. Some fans are going to keep it no matter what. You're the diehards. And not even all the diehards are going to be like that, but a section of the diehards will do no matter what to listen to this and support this radio because it's DMB related, and that's good for you. But for the rest of us who are fans, we got to have continuous content. We got to have more than just July live shows, okay? If they could do every Friday live show, forget the Saturdays. I know the Saturdays are the best shows usually. Just do every Friday show. That way, you can hold stuff for your live tracks and everything else that's not going to be on this radio. That would be something that would be awesome, but I think the band wants to hold their content. And when they're not going to give as much content, the radio station is going to go stale. People are going to unsubscribe after a couple months, 6 months. Not everyone, but some people are. They're just going to be like, you know what, it's getting repetitive. So that is the big thing is you have to have continuous exclusive content. You have to have continuous commentary. You have to have continuous live shows. And with these amazing artists, many of them having family, many of them having other commitments and other clinics and things like that, how often are they going to get into a booth and record stuff? And then once you release it, it's gone. Some of these people are going to want to save stuff for their memoirs. They're going to want to save stuff for different things they do after this band is completely done, and I hope it's not for a long time. You're going to have some of this stuff saved if they pass away, unfortunately, or down the road, and I hope it's many years down the road. They're going to want to save this content and have their kids release it for their trust. So, again, the content, you got to have it to keep going. And that's what's gonna make it stale. Again, listening to this today, pretty much every song that's on there, I've heard before because I have the content or I have it on Apple Music. As far as I've heard it through, but I didn't buy it, but I can listen to it on Apple Music. And I'm actually going to give you guys one way that how you can move on. When this channel shuts off, here is what you can do. And people, it's very simple. And hopefully maybe they find a way to get this deal. Maybe I'm wrong and you guys can, have this and I can have it. And I don't know how long I'll keep it, especially off concert, when they're not touring. They're not going to have live shows. I'm probably dipping. But you can use Spotify or Apple Music. That's step one, okay? And you have all the same content. And what you can do is go on to the playlist for Apple Music, for Spotify. You have many fans. Message me. I'll make you a playlist. And again, I've only been seeing the band since 2012, but I've been a fan since the mid-2000s. I'll make you a playlist. I'll put you in some stuff, and I've been listening to since 2012. I've been into the content. Go to other people who have been around since 90, I'm talking 93, 94, 95, 96. Go to them on Spotify. Check their playlists out. They have a knowledge that is greater than most people. And I'm sure there's playlists up there if you keep looking. Because all the same songs you're hearing on DMB radio, the majority of that content is on, that I've heard in the last couple of days, it's on Apple Music, it's on Spotify. If you don't have an iPhone and you don't like, Apple stuff, it's fine. Go on to Spotify. They have most of the catalog of live tracks now. And that's really the thing, going back to content. That's why this radio they're not releasing stuff that's never been released before on DMB radio as far as live stuff. The only new live stuff that's never been released is the Friday concerts. And then the commentary, that's different. So you're not getting any new content. So get Spotify, get Apple Music, and it's a great it's a great tool because if you're streaming, DMB Radio on the Spotify app, you can do the same thing with Apple Music and Spotify. If you're doing it on this Sirius XM app, you can do the same thing on Spotify and Apple Music. The other thing you can do if you have an iPhone, go on to DMB Hub. The first place I heard Friday night show from Deer Creek, it wasn't DMB Radio because I just was starting to sign up. I actually heard it on DMB Hub because an amazing taper, support the tapers, guys. Buy them a ticket, buy them a beer, help them get tickets. The taper had it to the DMB Hub, like literally right, like the next morning I woke up and the show was there. Okay? So you can go to DMB Hub, you can go to the Ants Marching, Dreaming Tree, learn how to get lossless files. It's very easy. I was very lazy and I found out how to do it. And there's your live shows. Forget Friday. You can get any major show you're going to get on from a taper. Now, there's been some times where there's been some big shows that were missed or it took a while. But as long as we keep supporting these tapers, learn how to be a taper, the community will have all this music still. So you got Spotify, Apple Music, and DMB Hub. Now, again, if you want to push for this, my thing is push to DMB management, guys. You're going the wrong way. Everyone's going, Sirius XM. Look, I'm sorry, no offense, and I'm a diehard fan. They could care less about just the DMB fan base. Sirius XM, while they're still making money, they're trying to find ways to adapt to the Spotifys, the Apple Musics, the YouTubes. And they're having a very hard time doing that. They're losing subscribers. Now, they still get, with the Howard Sterns and some of the other sports talk stuff that they get, they still have a great base. They have a lot of people who drive far. People are driving farther to work. So they're lining up to get Sirius XM because, look, this economy and everything we're going through now with the way jobs are changing, people are driving further. Or, you know what? They're working from home. So Sirius XM, they don't care about DMB radio. They're worried about other stuff to deal with, work from home people, get them to sign up, people who have long commutes that are working 2 or 3 jobs and they have hours in between. They're looking for those people. They don't care about the DMB fan base as that much. They want to do this little thing, but unless the management is going to give them a golden deal that's going to be beneficial to SiriusXM, they're just going to do this. Pop in, pop out, you get some notice, and then look, hey, classic vinyl, whatever that's called. Other stuff you have. You have some jazz stations for the DMB jazz fans. You got Jam On. People are going to check that, and maybe you get a couple subscribers that stick around, and everyone else goes back. That's all they're looking for. But again, if you want to make a difference, you got to hit up management. And I know it's hard to get to them. You ask a warehouse member like me or anyone else who's part of the warehouse. It can be tough. But they do listen. At times they do listen. Look at DMB Live 25. Shoot, they listen. They made it expensive, but they listen. So I'm not stopping you from making a change, and I commend you for trying to push for something you believe in and supporting this band and all that. But go to management, not SiriusXM. And again, if you are bummed out, please just take 5 minutes to go on antsmarching.com. Learn how you can download torrents. Go, if you have an iPhone, what are you waiting for, sir or ma'am? Go download the DMB app or DMB Hub app, DMB Hub on antsmarching.com because it's amazing. What they're doing this year, these guys are amazing. Be an Ants Plus subscriber. Support them financially, okay? But it's your boy ConserViz34. I'll see you guys at SPAC. I'll have some more preview stuff coming for SPAC. I'll be there night 2. I'm excited. But again, you guys have a good one. Definitely like, comment, subscribe. All right, I'm out.